Good morning, Carl Meyer coming to you from Houston, Texas. Today, I want to talk about the Chinese population. One of the things that hit the news this morning is that China's population is declining for the first time in decades. This is a really big deal. Very clearly, they lost about 850,000 people this one year, this past 2022. That is the first time their population has declined since Mao and some of his challenging times there. This is a long-term trend. This is not a one-off thing. China's population is going to continue to decline for years and probably decades, just because they've got such a low birth rate and have had such a low birth rate since 1990. This is something I talk about as a general problem for the world in my talks, in my book, the upcoming book. So the challenge is that as you've got enough people that are over a certain age, it's particularly over 2 points. Once you get past 45, when you're no longer in your peak consumption phase, and when you get past 65, when you're getting into your retirement age, that really changes the ability of economies to grow. And that's the other thing we've heard from China today. So China is seeing 2.9% growth. They had projected 5.5%, but they only achieved 2.9. Now, COVID and the lockdowns that they're experiencing are a big issue. They're impacting growth, absolutely. But it's not the only thing. And the COVID is not going away anytime soon for China. They don't have effective vaccines. And so lockdowns, or they'll stop the lockdowns, but they're going to continue to have issues because of the health situation with COVID, and probably a lot of deaths, unfortunately. Again, this is a natural implication of aging populations is slowing growth, not just in China, but around the world. And that has implications for economies around the world, including the US. And, the US has got its challenges with tight labor markets, inflation, expensive capital, supply chain breakdowns. So China, their slow growth is absolutely impacting America's supply chains. Companies that have been slow to move their production out of China are seeing the impact of this now. So as this moves from kind of a global population issue to a growth rate issue, it comes down to individual companies. And so here, Chinese EV maker XPeng is lowering their prices, and Tesla and Series have already done that. And so we're seeing this pressure come down all the way to individual companies. And this particular one is in China. We're seeing that in China, but in the US, the same thing happens. These are global trends with the aging population, and it's changing GDP growth around the world. Europe, Japan, it's been 25 years plus since they've had significant growth. And the US is slowing. US, particularly because of NAFTA, has got somewhat better demographics, but still, we are seeing those impacts continuing. So I think today's news is just a great reinforcing example of the fact that demographics is one of the big issues, along with global trade security, but that's for another day. So think about how you can take advantage of these changes and turn them into opportunities. Follow me for more. That's all today.